When you think of Manhattan, what pops into your head? I'm guessing it's a grid, right? Straight lines, right angles, and skyscrapers shooting up into the sky. But what if I told you all of that was just forced onto a wild, natural island? Today, we're going to dig into how that incredible transformation happened. It's a story of two clashing worlds and one single, incredibly bold plan. So let's start with the most basic question of all. Before all this, what was actually here? The answer reveals a world that's almost impossible to even picture now, a place that played by a totally different set of rules. At its core, this is really a tale of two islands, two completely different ways of thinking. On one side, you have nature's design. The way the Lenape people lived, it was all about being integrated, organic, and temporary. And on the other side, man's grid, imposed, structured, and built to be permanent. This clash is the key to the entire story of Manhattan. Okay, so let's rewind the clock, way back. We're talking about Manhattan before it was even a city, an island shaped entirely by nature. Let's step into the world of the Lenape. So, try to erase the map of Manhattan from your mind. No avenues, no streets. Instead, picture this. Dense forests, dozens of winding streams, and wetlands carving their way through the land, and these gentle rolling hills. It was a living, breathing ecosystem. And ironically, it had these amazing natural harbors that would pretty much seal its fate. And get this, their architecture totally reflected this way of life. The Lenape lived in wigwams. These weren't structures designed to conquer the land. They were designed to coexist with it. They were adaptable, portable, they left almost no trace. You literally cannot get more different from a skyscraper. And then the first big wave of change hits. The Dutch arrive. And they didn't see an ecosystem to live with. They saw a prime piece of real estate to build a commercial engine on top of. Now, the thing you have to understand about this moment is that the first European settlement, New Amsterdam, was driven by one thing and one thing only: trade. Every single decision was about making money. This wasn't about harmony with nature. It was about creating a functional, profitable outpost on the land. And you can totally see this practical mindset in how they built things. Everything was built to be sturdy and efficient. Steep roofs? Yep, good for the weather. Brick or stone walls? Sturdy, protective. And those famous narrow houses? That was a style brought straight from Amsterdam, all about maximizing the use of valuable land. Every single feature had a job to do. And here's what's so wild. You can still see that original plan today. Seriously, if you've ever gotten completely turned around in the winding streets of the financial district, you're literally walking on the ghost of New Amsterdam. Those twisting paths are a direct echo of that first Dutch settlement, a total contrast to the rest of the island. Okay, next chapter. In 1664, the British take over, and they bring a whole new philosophy with them. It's not just about trade anymore. Now it's about projecting power and a sense of permanence. And the difference in their approach is, well, it's stark. Dutch colonial style was all business, built for trade. British Georgian style, that was symmetrical, it was grand, and it was designed to shout stability and order. It was architecture as a statement of control. The keywords here are order and symmetry. Everything was perfectly balanced. Windows placed just so, clean rectangular shapes, classical columns. You can see it in St. Paul's Chapel, which is actually Manhattan's oldest surviving church. This was architecture designed to impress, to project the sense of unshakable British order onto a brand new world. Now, even after the Revolution, that love for order didn't just disappear, it just got a new American rebranding. The federal style took those same classical ideas of balance and symmetry, but now they were used to represent the ideals of the new republic, democracy, and of course, order. But here's the thing. All of this so far, the Dutch practicality, the British order, that was all just tinkering around the edges. The most radical, landscape-destroying event was still on its way. This is the moment Manhattan's fate gets locked in for good. 1811. Burn that year into your memory. The city's population was exploding, and the leaders decided they needed a plan. And the one they came up with was so audacious it would literally erase the island's natural history right off the map. The commissioner's plan was brutally simple. It imposed a rigid grid of 12 avenues and 155 streets, creating these uniform, rectangular blocks for development. It didn't just ignore the island's hills and streams, it basically declared war on them. A hill's in the way? Level it. A stream's in the way? Fill it in. Nature was just an inconvenience. And you have to understand just how revolutionary this was. I mean, think about old European cities, right? Their streets grew organically, like vines, following the natural shape of the land. Manhattan's grid was the exact opposite. It was a cold, rational idea just slammed down on top of the landscape, forcing the island to conform to the plan, not the other way around. And this is the crucial takeaway. The grid wasn't just about making straight streets. It was an economic engine. It turned the entire island into a collection of predictable, easy-to-sell rectangles of property. It literally paved the way for the age of the skyscraper. The grid is the blueprint for modern New York. So there you have it, from a world of wigwams and streams, to a Dutch trading post, to a British symbol of order, and finally, to the relentless grid. The story of Manhattan is really the story of its taming, and we live with the consequences of that 1811 decision every single day. So it leaves us with one last thought. If you could redraw the city from scratch today, what would you change?